on my live broadcast. So even though I'm experiencing technical glitches, um, the bigger monitor is blank. All I can see is, um, black space, but on the other monitor, the screen is the screen pretty much um, let me see allows me to see myself. So I just want to share how COVID still affects me, even though I have already tested negative and that I don't have symptoms anymore. It affects how I am scheduling my day-to-day activities because I want, I cannot help but be sensitive about how some people are being cautious because I truly have come out into the open and say that I have tested negative, I have tested positive, and that you can instantly feel the automatic, the knee jerk reaction of moving even slightly, a bit farther, and also every so often I have to take a sit so that I can catch my breath because it really is tiring. I know that it is to be expected how I have to allow for complete recuperation um, from the infection because I have to pace myself still. So I had tested myself with antigen. I tested positive January 13, um, 2022. So today is the 31st. So I am still within that window. I so I am getting farther and farther away from home as I move around. And as much as I hate to admit it, how different I feel, for immediately after the second week, I I still feel some foggy moments. I cannot think straight, and that speaking for a long time or singing, it makes me exhausted. So I with the things that are scheduled for me to be part of, I have decided to put off um, because I want to be in my best form when eventually I agree to a date. And at this time, getting dressed and conditioning myself into the business routine, I'm getting there. So that's why, um, what can I say? Omicron is not that harmless. It has um, it has its own danger and sting because the symptoms may be over within 2 to 3 days, but the effect on me, I can still feel the somewhat, diba, in my energy level and yun. So I'm still pacing myself. Um, Going back to what I really want to say with this broadcast is that, last March 11th to 14th, we were in Hong Kong. And that was the first time that I touched base internationally to make cross-border, diba? So right after our trip to Hong Kong, immediately my circle sa FB, sa Twitter, it immediately widened to various countries. And I am just so thankful for my trip to Hong Kong. But this time around, we're arranging international trip in such a way that um, we can be guided by the lessons learned. Um, so pagpunta po namin doon, it's not being prima donna, but we are, um, there had been what, instances of or incidences of um, parang intentional yung um, disregard for our real identifications and credentials. So if it is intentional, we must respond consciously to how, be to we must respond consciously to deal with the intent and motives, diba, behind the wrong identifications, so that when we cross border at this time, sa consulate pa lang, sa visa applications pa lang, there can be no mistake about our purpose and reason for going abroad, and for um, how we are setting it right now, the verification, the various proceedings, so that we will be acknowledged and recognized behind the work that we have done. So, kasi when you're in the publishing, your work will be in the public patronage, right? So, the person behind the works that will be promoted in the public domain for the support of patronage, we are beholden, It is imperative. We have the moral duty to make full disclosure of what had happened in the past, so that the investments and getting into contract with us, we are not in there's not any danger of wasting time, of wasting resources um, in getting in touch with us, in doing the preliminary, so that we can have a valid contract. So that those are the things that we are, even at this time, we're working on. Salamat po.